So today I'm going to be replacing the 0.3 megapixel camera on the Hubsan H107C. You can see the one that I've got here. I scraped away the front so that I could fit a wide-angle lens on it. I've got a 2 megapixel camera card here that I ordered from Amazon. Got it for about 25 bucks. This is the HD version of the camera for the Hubsan X4, by the way. The package came with 4 clear props that you can see here. They're all labeled A and B, so they can easily be interchanged. They look a little thicker and stiffer than the factory standard ones, so we'll see what they do when I get a chance to do some test flights later. Here's the card itself with the plastic open port for the memory disk and the on-off switch right there, and the camera lens itself with a little plastic cover and the red and black positive and negative leads to be soldered to the board. You may have been wondering why the front of my quadcopter here has been shaved off. I actually took a block of sandpaper to it and reduced the little point that stuck out there. It was kind of a hood over the front of the camera right there. And this was so that I could fit a wide-angle lens on the front of my quadcopter, which looks like this. I had it hot glued to the front like that, but after a hard crash into a tree, it fell off, so I'll be repairing that a little bit later after I get the camera installed. Well, enough talk, let's get down to it. First step is to remove the screws, one on either side of the bottom of the airframe. I left the props on and I wasn't even paying attention, but that's a great way to get your props broken, so probably the best thing to do would be to remove the props first, which you'll see me doing in just a second. The other step would be to snap the little anti-brake legs there on the bottom of the unit so that you can actually remove the bottom of the unit just like that. So let's go ahead and get the props off using the little wrench that came with the quadcopter. Okay, now that that's done, what we can do is remove the bottom part. Don't pull too hard because there are delicate little leads there that will be ripped out. We're going to remove them anyway, but the main thing is you want to get these 4 little screws out that hold the battery compartment in place so that you can get access to the camera board. Okay, once you got all the screws out, there's just a little clip that sits right on top of the camera lens. If you just squeeze back a little bit, the whole battery bay pops right out just like that. The only thing holding the actual camera in is that little clip, and then it's just sitting right there inside the shell. So once you get the battery bay out, it doesn't take much to just pop the whole camera and the card right out. Notice how on the SD version there is a metal covering where the SD card goes in. On the HD version it's just an open slot. Now if you look here, you can see the black and red wires going to the main board here. Those are the ones I'm going to have to remove with the soldering iron and replace with the new HD camera card. With a gentle touch to the tip of the soldering iron, one of the leads pops free, and then I'm very careful on the next one because it's also connected to the red motor wire. And just a little touch, and that one's free, and just like that, the camera card is off. Okay, so I'm ready to install the new card. First up, I put the black wire where the other one went and apply a little heat, and just like that, it's now attached to the board. And then I move over to the red one, and I know it looks like I'm soldering my finger there, but I'm really not because that one is now attached to the board. Okay, now it's time to peel the little plastic cover off of the camera lens so that I can put this thing back together. So getting this board back inside the base of the quadcopter is not very tricky because there's nothing there to hold it. I mean, you just kind of slip it in and push. It kind of feels like you're going to break something at first, but the plastic shell is really nicely conformed to fit to this thing. So you just kind of pop it in and push a little bit and it snaps right into place. Just make sure the on-off button fits right through that little hole there on the side so you can see it. Then you can go ahead and put the battery compartment back into place, and it just kind of sits right in there like that. Just want to make sure you get it in the right way so you can actually put the battery in when you get it all put back together. Just like that. Put the 4 screws in and you're ready to reassemble the quadcopter. One thing I noticed is that the red and black battery leads right there that you can see next to my knife, when you install the battery on this thing, it tends to pinch those wires. So what I've seen a lot of people do is they go and cut a little notch out like what I'm doing right now so that the battery wires can have a place to slip up and out of the way when you install and remove the battery. There, that should help. And as you can see, now these wires can fit right in that notch. Give it a little bit of protection. Well, the last thing that's left to do is to make sure that when we reassemble the quadcopter body that you don't damage the delicate little leads from the camera card or for the battery connectors. Just kind of push the battery connectors out of the way and make sure that the camera connector gets kind of curled up a little bit underneath there so that when you snap it together, like that, everything seems to fit. And then the only thing that's left to do is to put the screws in. And there you have it. Now my quadcopter has an HD camera on board. So the next thing is to test it. I hope this helped you out, and thanks for watching.